It was one of the largest battles of the American Revolution. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Dr. David Young. He's with the Cliveden of the National Trust. Thanks so much for being with us. We're talking about the Battle of Germantown. Talk to us a little bit about this battle, because when we think of Germantown, we think of a vibrant neighborhood, but when this battle took place, this was an outlying area. This wasn't necessarily this vibrant community that we think of today.
That's right. It was about 6 or 7 miles northwest of Center City, and it was its own separate village. The battle itself was one of the largest battles of the Revolution. There were 20,000 troops engaged, 12,000 Americans in what was the Continental Army's first planned attack on the British. And it was also George Washington's bold attempt to liberate occupied Philadelphia. Philadelphia, the capital of the Continental Congress, was occupied by the British from September of 1777 till June of 1778. The Battle of Germantown was an attempt to liberate the city, and it didn't work.
So this was a time when Philadelphia was under siege. It was occupied by the British. This was a major battle. This was a major undertaking. We're talking about a time where the population of the entire colonies, the entire what we think of as the United States, wasn't that large. So 12,000 people was enormous.
Certainly, and there were 8,000 British to counter that. So it really sprawled out all over the neighborhood of Germantown. Of the 15 historic sites involved in the Historic Germantown Consortium, 11 were involved in the battle. Wick was the hospital, Stenton was British headquarters. The teeth of the fighting was at Cliveden, the Chew Mansion up on Germantown Avenue. But literally, the whole neighborhood was involved, as the whole city was involved in the battle.
We can actually see this as a reenactment on October 6th. Talk to us a little bit about what the public can view.
There's all sorts of things going on, and it's really quite a sight to see 300 reenactors, British, American, African-American units, all marching up Germantown Avenue. This bustling 21st century street turns into an 18th century battlefield, and the reenactors really engage with the families and the children that come out. There's sutlers that sell colonial wares. There's a series of activities on the Upsala side of the street that include puppet shows and pumpkin painting, even a jumping the broom ceremony, quill pen writing, face painting. We'll even have a beer garden this year. And then the reenactment takes place at noon and at 3. And that's quite a sight because the reenactors not only engage with the families, but then they take part in this, and it's a historically accurate reenactment, and so historically accurate that the British even take place in the house and shoot out from the second-story windows, which is unusual for a reenactment. For instance, at Gettysburg, they don't get within a mile of where Pickett's charge took place. So the Germantown reenactment is very close to the hearts of Revolutionary War reenactors. And they're best considered great history teachers because they really get young people involved.
And all of this happens on October the 6th. It's obviously open to the public, and the Americans lose at noon and at 3. This was obviously an important battle, and we just have a short time left, but significant as well in terms of American history.
It was. When you think about it, 152 Americans died in this battle, so the battle is sacred. Cliveden is a sacred battleground. It's also one of the largest battles in the War for Independence, and the only one that took place in the city that gave the world the Declaration of Independence.
Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We've been talking with Dr. David Young. I'm Jill Horner.